All right, so like once upon a time, I got accused of being AI. I'm not AI. I'm just a dude. Okay, but there is a important thing in the discussion around AI, which is the effort to payoff reward ratio. And I understand that in the indie sphere, a lot of people really dislike AI, and I can't blame them because the amount of work and the amount of effort that they've put into mastering a skill set that now essentially has been just sucked away. Like, oh, that's gonna hit hard, you know? Like, it's not that I can really talk because I have a bullshit job, but the thing with the level of bullshit job that I have is the moment that the computers start taking over and start doing more things, it becomes my job to forward the email that the computer spits out. I have to send that to someone else who has to say that they received an email, which means the computers can never do what I do because the purpose of my job is essentially to make other people feel good. Um, and like the moment that, oh, I got a special email, I must be so important. The moment that that becomes, I've gotten another email from, I don't know, ChatGPT, like gone, boom, like that special feeling, it has evaporated. But I am sympathetic towards artists because they are the only people that sort of self-employ and actively produce a physical object that can be disseminated en masse to people. Like a carpenter can build an object. They can build one thing, and that one thing can go to one person. But like an artist can produce a piece of artwork, it can be copied, replicated, it's semi-fungible, and like especially in the case of like independent video games and independent film creators and visual artists, um, musicians, etc. Like they make something that speaks to the soul of people. And so that's why I'm not surprised to see communities getting up in arms about this Studio Ghibli sort of thing. Um, Purely because like the Studio Ghibli incident, I'm going to call it, the way people are using it is they're just using it to, make fun, cute little things, and who can blame them? Ghibli produce products, in movies. Um, and while artificial intelligence is definitely against the core of the messaging of those movies, everyone culturally has a fondness for it. They have an affinity. The moment AI was able to imitate Pixar, people immediately used it to make meme content of the worst moments of our culture. Like the first Pixar's poster that I saw from when that was going around was Saint Floyd. Okay, and then the next one was like Twin Towers. And they were funny. Don't get me wrong. It was genuinely funny, but it's because they were satirizing our stagnated and almost gross culture. But the Studio Ghibli incident, it honestly it doesn't sit as close to this, but it reminds me of when Kim Jong Il died. Kim Jong Il is a fantastic Korean artist, master artist, and he passed away, I think, in 2022. Anyways, and after he passed away, it was only a couple of days before someone had fed his artwork into an AI, and they were producing like Kim Jong Il style artwork within days of this man having passed away. And he passed away slightly before Lightbox. Anyone who's interested in Lightbox, you probably already know about this. But that situation felt gross. It felt like it was dancing on the grave of a phenomenal master artist. And I think we can say comfortably, I like it would be unfair to say that the AI bros were meaning to be disrespectful. They said like as a living memory to keep a living history of the guy. And I'm sure in their own field, like in their field, they were probably meaning to pay respects in a way. But it came off gross. Unlike the Ghibli situation, I think the difference is that the AI that was produced from Yi was very clearly a limit test of the tool. It was a limit test on what the tool can produce, and it was aping the style and the likeness of a recently deceased man who was beloved within his community. The Studio Ghibli thing, though, is they are aping the style of a product. And the reality of production artwork is that, like for movies, video games, etc., the reality of that is there's a necessity for the content to be produced at a rate that is appropriate for the audience to consume. And this is where you get a lot of like digital slop, by the way, especially in shorts feed content, because short form content is essentially made to be pumped and dumped. It's meant to be disposed of. It's not meant to be kept around. It's not meant to be any lasting legacy. It's not meant to be a lasting memory. And this is why it's so full of AI trash. So when they came out with the ability to imitate Studio Ghibli, it's more in line with imitating Pixar, where we know that the production house, the production studio, wants to be able to do this. It might not be within the simple ethos, but as a pure practicality, in terms of being able to produce product, it's a necessity within modern world. There was an arts channel, Art Wad, where they came out and they made a comment basically on the state of AI compared to commission artists. And I think he nailed it like perfectly. The commission artist, if they're trying to sell themselves on efficiency and cost, is doing it wrong. Because what they need to do is they need to focus on the experience of the production of art rather than I guess, the efficacy or any of the impacts that they're going to have on the marketability of a product. Because a AI production piece will always beat them out in terms of cost effectiveness and time effectiveness. But what they'll never beat them out on is soul, I guess. Like they'll never beat them on cultural standpoints. It's almost going to be impossible for algorithmically produced artwork to compete with a real person when it comes to social capital, I guess. And I think that might be where the people who are offended by Ghibli's the GPT generation of Ghibli style is because what they're viewing is the watering down of the social value, the social capital of Studio Ghibli. And that's really unfortunate.